Welcome to my mama's show.
Welcome to my daddy's show. You can say, my daddy's silly if you want. Those cans are too good.
My dad's crazy.
Very good.
Hello, my name's Anya. My dad's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to Anya, my daughter. This is her premiere appearance on Apostasy Now. Welcome to another episode. Today's guest is the amazing Lee Moore. Amongst many other things that we'll talk about, Lee is also a podcaster on A News, which means... You take the dump, you take the crap, you can't take more, and so you snap the facts of Lee. The facts of Lee. He's got a show to help you grow about that shit you oughta know. The facts of Lee. The facts of Lee. When the yes never seem to be snapping out of their dreams, then suddenly you're finding out the A News, it's all about you. When it's all about survival, go and try Godless Revival. Your host is Lee with the facts of Lee. It takes a lot to see clearly, so try learning the facts of Lee. The facts of Lee. The facts of Lee. There you go, Lee. Another podcaster with his well-deserved theme song. Lee also is, as the song mentions, he's one of the people who helps run Godless Revival. He's got a lot of interesting things to say, a lot of interesting facets, so stay tuned and listen to what Lee has to offer. I think you'll find it's a lot. I also want to just quickly remind people that we're still trying to raise money for a good friend of ours, Reed Payton, who's been working for years without asking for any money, helping to add to our community and to our sense of enjoyment. To help him and his family, I'll put links in the site. If you have any little bits of money to offer, anything at all, please consider doing that. And now, let's get to the next episode of Apostasy Now.
Who are you?
Barf!
Not in here, mister. This is a Mercedes.
Because I'm very much a skeptic. I'm more of a skeptic than I am an atheist. I mean, atheist is a conclusion based on my skepticism.
You'll have to come like a little child to the foot of the cross.
That attitude is what is responsible for the rise of atheism.
That's not what Islam is all about. Islam is peace.
What is the penalty for leaving the Muslim faith? With the death penalty. Thank you.
This is Apostasy Now.
For people to get the information correct before they start yapping.
Get ready to root for the bad guys.
Begins with E, evidence. All the evidence.
Good morning.
Hey, how you doing, Lee?
Oh, not too terrible. Yourself?
Doing all right? Welcome to Apostasy Now.
Right on. Are we on now?
Yeah, I usually just start recording.
No, fair enough.
If the guest was like, I need to tell you something that you can't record, then I'd stop it.
I need to tell you something you can't record.
Oh, yeah?
No, not really. I got nothing.
You're a real private type of person, right?
Some parts of my life I keep private, but those parts are private, so we don't need to talk about them.
Let's start there. So...
What do you not want to talk about? I've tried that a few times on A News, and people will actually eat it.
Yeah? Yeah, there was, I remember a while back, it's quite a while now, but there's one guy you had on your show, and Brian really was into asking him questions, and the guy really opened up about how he went from living the life of a straight guy to being someone who was not so straight from a religious background.
Well, Brian is, he's closeted gay,
Oh.
so he was just trying to get some insight on that.
Yeah. Okay, well,
And Brian, we love you. We totally support your lifestyle. Come out, be proud. We got your back.
He's gonna love this interview if he listens to it.
It's possible.
I don't know if he even listened to his own.
I don't listen to our own, but I think Brian listens to more podcasts, and Brian does try to listen to things that involve us, so I'm terrified to listen to A-News, though. I mean, it's like listening to yourself. I can't do that.
Hey, A-News has been a constant on my playlist for a couple years.
Yeah, we've been around for, I lost count of how many years. We started out as a video news show back when we had absolutely no idea what the hell we were doing. We just made a green screen out of paint and took the shittiest cameras we could find and stuck them in front of our faces and started talking about the news, trying to be somewhat serious. And it just went down from there. And then we switched over to the podcast format because it's a lot less work. And we've actually found that people listen to podcasts more than they watch our videos. So
I've seen some of the older videos from way back in the day. Yeah, it's for the time you guys are doing that, it must have seemed like pretty industrious. Probably a lot of you guys working together.
Not really. It was mainly just me and Brian, drunk, really having no idea what in the hell we were doing. I mean, we'd occasionally watch a YouTube video to figure out, what buttons to push on the camera. We had no formal training in any of this.
Well, that's how you learn, though.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we didn't do this to, be all professional. We did this because it's fun.
Yeah.
And I actually wanted to spread atheism and get more people involved.
Or at least awareness of... Yeah, there's still a lot of misconceptions that people, when they hear the word atheist, they have these really bizarre ideas.
Well, I mean, there's so many different ways to be an atheist these days. I mean, there's your humanists, your political atheists, your anti-theists, your social justice atheists. The list goes on and on, so many different ways to express it. So we have categories, and that's fine.
Yeah.
For instance, I'm more of the anti-theist, political atheist kind of guy.
Yeah, every now and then I see you getting frustrated with some of the garbage that's floating your way online.
Oh, well, I mean, I hands down admit I'm an idiot. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I try and I care. But people like to criticize me for being an idiot, and I'm like, but I just told you I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. Give me constructive criticism.
They should be targeting someone with some pride. I could name a few people, but we won't do that.
I mean, I can if you like. I have no shame.
Yeah. Well, it's not that I have shame. I just kind of go easy for my guest's sake. I'm the type of guy who has no problem sputting out a few particular offenders myself.
Oh, you don't need to go easy on me.
So, just so you know, Smashlock is on the way. Something delayed him, so he'll be momentarily interrupting our show to say hello to you.
Excellent.
Eventually I want to talk to you about the Godless revival, because I know there's a lot of, chatter about that goes on. And I think I would like to introduce our audience to what it really is, what it's meant to be, what it can be from someone who's...
I would too, because your audience deserves to have a Godless revival.
Yes. Well, it sounds great. But if you don't mind, do you mind if I ask you, how far back does your online activity with A-News go? How long ago do you think that was?
I actually do mind. That's classified information. No, well, for starters, I've been an atheist all my life, and I was raised in a Southern Baptist, crazy religious environment. It just did not take. So I've always been on the side of you guys are dumb, and I don't believe in magic. As I grew up, as I got older, yada, 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 I met more people that were kind of along those lines, a lot more fence sitters, and I just kind of got the idea, you just be an atheist, because look at all the crazy shit the religious people are doing to us. Let's fight back. And I'd say it was about 2006 or 7 I got involved in the online atheist community, and after that I had this idea that we really don't have a good atheist news show that's funny, something like The Daily Show that's for atheists. So for a couple of years, I actually worked and tried to find people to be involved, and finally I just asked my old buddy Brian Allen. It's like, hey, you're an atheist too, right? And he's like, yeah. It's like, let's do stuff. And he said, okay. And we started up, and we've been around ever since. For some reason, we just won't go away.
Well, you guys, I know you're friends, but you're also you're just a really good team. You guys work well off of one another's style.
Oh, we've been friends for like 10 plus years now, so yeah, it helps to really know somebody, have all that kind of camaraderie, those background stories, really kind of aids to our dialogue.
Yeah, well, my friend, speaking of friends, my friend Smashlock just arrived.
Excellent.
Oh, sorry, it's a joy, kids. He is a father. He has children.
I'm not.
Smashlock, this is Lee Moore. Lee Moore, Smashlock.
How's it going? Name's Chris.
Greetings, Mr. Locke.
Thank you.
So, okay, so you guys started the show back, well, you started your online activity about 2006, and you said that the religious stuff never took. Do you remember approximately what stage of life you were before you realized it was like formally in your head, like this is all BS?
Well, like I said, from day one, the whole God thing, it just seemed like, yeah, I don't really care. And that was, well, that's early life. But it was around the time I first saw Carl Sagan's Cosmos. And it was somewhere age 9 to 11 that I really became a hardcore skeptic. I was like, this nice guy on TV is making all this sense in space. And these other people just want to hate black people and gay people and don't make any sense whatsoever. So that's kind of really when I became sort of an active atheist.
Well, that's a lot younger than me. I did the same thing, only my arc ended with me in my late 20s, early 30s, I guess, really. To figure out that it was all crap. But your thing about Sagan, I've been, I don't know, I've been amazed over the last few years how many people have repeated that story. How Carl Sagan had, with Cosmos, had that huge impact on them.
Well, I mean, it was a global phenomenon. It still is a global phenomenon, and I really think that Sagan actually kind of, he had that in mind. He wanted to spread that kind of, not necessarily godless awareness, but skeptical awareness.
Right.
And he succeeded.
Yeah.
That man was a brilliant communicator.
He truly was the devil's child.
Well, one of the things...
fucking Hail Sagan.
Yeah, I was going to say, Lee puts that on all kinds of stuff.
I got the Hail Sagan t-shirts, I'm all about it. That used to be our catchphrase at A News, Hail Sagan. And then it got popular.
Yep. The other catchphrase at the beginning of each show is that we have a special show or a special guest.
Yeah, we like. Yeah, I struggle to write intros for our shows because I'm not very creative unless I'm really drunk, and when I'm really drunk, I can barely speak. So it's kind of there's just no winning.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. Well, I mean, the show itself, people will listen to for the content. If you have to concentrate on the intro to bring in your audience and keep them there, there's a problem with your show.
Usually, if you don't hook someone in the first minute of your show, they're just going to turn it off and go do something else.
It's a true story. Don't kid yourself, man.
Oh, yeah?
Why do you think they have those misleading images on the pictures for the YouTube videos?
Oh, yeah. It's true. That looks like an interesting picture, and then about 5 minutes in, you're like, this is really not interesting.
This has nothing to do with the girl in the bikini on the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually why we got a theme song that's full of profanity. I love our theme song. It's the best theme song I've ever heard.
Yeah,
I'm kind of biased.
It's very quickly creating kind of that mood that says A News now. It's been with you guys for about a year, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're big on profanity, and that's something that you actually see a bit of resistance to in the atheist community, because there's a lot of, like, old guard atheists that, they kind of reject all the dogma that religion gives, but still have that whole polite society, you shouldn't be profane unless it's absolutely necessary, and here comes our generation, and we're just swearing like sailors, and we don't give a shit about it. And they're not very receptive to that, so we've got to spread the profanity love, and that's something A News has been about since day one.
Do you think that might have to do with the fact that they want to come across as the intellectual group?
Well, and then, true. I mean, that's very true. There's a lot of atheists that have that kind of ivory tower philosophy, but we're a diverse group, and we need to be acceptant and tolerant of those of us who like to curse and are just as smart as you. We just don't like to sound that way.
Yeah.
I can very eloquently tell you to go fuck yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's not.
I have also been confused by that. I call it prudishness. Some people, they let go a lot of the reasons that would seem like, if you're deeply religious, I can kind of understand why you're prudish about certain language. But if you're not, I don't get it anymore. I mean, unless you're in a kindergarten class, visiting your kid's class for the day, and there's a bunch of kids around, and you're saying, you're all a bunch of little fucking twats.
Who wants coke and hookers?
Yeah.
The way I've had
That's
it
what they did in
explained,
my school.
the way I had it explained to me, because I used to use profanity a fair amount when I debated on Stickam, a few of the people who were kind of anti-foul language, they said you want to come across as more informed than the other guy. You have to speak this way so that you not only make a point, but you sound rational making the point. And I said,
I hear that same argument, and that's something we're trying to break. We're trying to say, no, that's fucking stupid, and you're a fucking stupid person for saying it.
I am a fan of efficiency. If I can say fuck you and I get the same effect as I would in 13 sentences to try and reach that same conclusion, fuck you just seems to be the faster way to get there.
I mean, fuck you, it's fun, it's easy, and, I mean, you could be all hoity-toity and say, you descend from a colostomy bag. You sound a little smarter, and, fuck you, it gets it done. It gets it done efficiently. You're absolutely right.
I am a fan of efficiency, as Corey well knows. Although
efficiency's good.
You should have seen the cursing yesterday moving patio stones.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You've been doing a lot of work on your house, man.
Oh, my God. I know. There's no problem with cursing in my backyard.
Actually, I'm going to talk about this, but I can't remember where the citation is. But they have done some studies that have shown that our swearing is related to animals when they scream, when they're in pain, or when they're doing something that's a lot of exertion. It helps to tolerate pain.
Really?
I've also read a study that it relieves stress and all sorts of other things.
Yeah.
I've actually tried to make up a few studies that say it increases penis length and.
Oh, that'd be a great study. More popular than ever.
If the creationists get to make up science, why can't I make up science?
That's right. At least your science makes people happy.
Yep. That's right, girls. Science has proven that swallowing reduces all effects of breast cancer.
That one might be true.
Well, I'm going to claim it's true.
Yeah.
Be a general shithead about it.
If you move it right, you might be able to get it published in an article in the Huffington Post.
That would work, wouldn't it?
They're really bad for checking their facts. So. Professor Lee Moore of New York University has a new study.
Oh, that'd be the day. I think I've been on HuffPost before.
Really?
Well, at least they talked about me there. It's weird getting major media attention for some of the dumb shit you do.
Yeah,
we're working on it.
Speaking of which, the next thing I'll ask you about that I remember going on, which seemed highly frustrating for you, was that you, and I think Brian with you, were trying to run talks between different kind of warring factions a couple years back.
Yeah, it was about
the Rift.
A year ago when... Okay, well, I'll give you the backstory, because there was selfless reasons for this, and there were selfish reasons. And the selfish reasons for us wanting to do something about the infighting in the atheist community is one day I wanted to have a guest on my show to talk about, I can't even remember what. And that guest refused to come on my show because of one of my co-hosts, because she absolutely hated him, and they'd never met and whatnot. And then I started discovering all this infighting between these factions upon factions of groups, and I'd already heard about Elevator Gate and all that other crap, and I just thought that was dumb and something to be ignored and silliness.
So we have Lee on the podcast, and he is the host of the A News podcast, and dare I say, international diplomat.
I don't know if I go that far, but trying.
Critically acclaimed international diplomat? Yeah, what the hell. They always say Captain Kirk to go in there and broker peace and everything.
Yeah.
And I think Lee is Captain Picard here on the whole.
Captain Kirk got to kick someone's ass and sleep with a green chick in the process, so I just get yelled at.
Yeah, you're I'm sorry to say you have to be Captain Picard here.
No, even Captain Picard got laid. And got to shoot things with his phaser.
Only on Ryza, okay?
I was going to say... I say the big pro-feminist side is not big on this ending because they see capitulation or compromise as a silencing of their ideals.
That's horrible. I mean, you pick one.
You're in the mighty city of New York, though, right?
Yeah, okay, the money city of New York that was built centuries ago, the infrastructure here is crumbling, and by crumbling, I mean almost non-existent. The cable lines are pretty much ancient, and it sucks.
Well, I've been on the highway there, and the highway has some areas that look pretty rough.
Yeah, they tend to do more maintenance on the roads than they do the utilities.
Still, as a truck driver, it's been one of the horror shows driving through there. Traffic's pretty rough.
Yeah, the traffic. I refuse to drive in the city. It's. I mean, I can drive. I know how. I don't know how to drive up here.
I've been driving for years, and I don't know how to drive in that town either, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, well, I was raised in the South, good old Southern boy, and we're very laid back where I'm from, and just up here, it's like a fucking knife fight on the highway.
Yeah, that is an excellent description of it. Struggle to the death.
So you were getting to the good part of this infighting.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea where it cut off, so I'll just I'll recap the points. So, infighting was bad. We discovered the infighting was bad because it hindered our ability to have whoever the hell we wanted on our show.
Yeah.
So, I decided that we were going to use our resources to try and settle some of this infighting, to get people to talk like actual reasonable, rational, civil discoursian adults. So we set out to find these various factions that were angry with one another and get them to sit down, smoke the peace pipe with us. And we talked to some folks from the Slime Pit, and we talked to Justin Vukula. We talked to a lot of various bloggers that were on sort of that side of the fence, and they were like, okay, we're willing to sit down and have this discussion. And then we went to the other side. We talked to some free thought bloggers and some skeptics, and pretty much every last one of them just screamed at me saying, how dare you want us to sit down and talk with people who threaten us with rape? I'm like, whoa, no one is asking you to sit down and talk to anyone who has threatened you with rape.
Yeah.
None of these guys or girls have threatened you with shit. They're just critical of you. We're not getting the crazy anonymous 4chan people on. That's not what this is about. But that's what they either by intention or misunderstanding labeled the whole thing as. Like, no, we have nothing to say to them. They're fucking scum and evil and yada yada yada. And Justin Vukula is the worst person ever. He's fucking Turbo Hitler. And I'm just like, wow, no wonder these people fucking hate you guys. You're fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So so that didn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it was very successful anyway.
No, I met a lot of really great people, and that was the cool part of it. Was meeting new and interesting people, and finding out that some of my allies have some issues that I don't really want to be around. So we've limited who we talk to on A News since then, just because we don't really want to be a part of that one particular faction of atheism. Because, like I said, they're some of the ones that we encountered were very unstable, and that's kind of scary. And I actually really feel bad for some of them.
Now, do you shy away from content for the most part that has to do with, I'm just going to say, femtheists?
No, one of my co-hosts, Sheila Blackadder, is a feminist atheist, and I love actual the feminism that says men and women are equal, we're entitled to all the same rights and privileges and yada yada yada. I'm down. I'm in. 100% sold. Equality across the board. But when you start getting into some of the more abstract theories, start claiming that everything is because of the patriarchy or other sorts of silliness, I get critical of you because you don't make any sense. You're spouting buzzwords and
when you start departing from more of a well-centered or well-balanced kind of humanist view on men and women, and you move into an extreme ideological point of view, it all goes ape shit.
Well, that's the thing. When you move into an extreme ideological anything, you lose the ability to compromise. And as a moderate in just about everything, except for my atheism, I compromise. And because you have to compromise. That's the only way you can survive and get anything done in this world. That's why in America right now, our government's pretty much locked because they forgot how to compromise. Well, one faction did anyway.
Tea Party, America!
Yeah. Fucking Republicans.
America!
It'll be interesting to see what happens to the Republican Party. They seem to be kind of being eaten from within right now.
Yeah, but their followers still love them. They're so united on their hatred for anything that isn't on the right that, we like to say they're falling apart, but we're kidding ourselves. Because that racism they got, that's a fucking tight thread they got.
They've gone from being a sadistic psycho into being a schizophrenic lunatic, but they're still in one body.
Yeah, pretty much.
I swear, if Mel Brooks were to write a script about what's going on in America now, the first line out of one of the people yelling from the angry crowd would be, The president is a bong. I think he said the president's near, you know.
But no, it's actually a lot of the same parallels with our current Congress and the atheist community. You've got one very strong, very non-compromising faction, and a lot of other very rational people, and within those very rational people, you've got some completely fucking sociopath trolls that get everyone else labeled as them. Because there are people out there that are sending rape threats, and there are people out there that are just being generally shitty human beings, but they're the anonymous people. They're not the activists, they're not the hardworking people, but everyone else gets kind of labeled as them if you even slightly agree with their points. So that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, people being grouped together.
Yeah, I don't know what to think, guys. Like, I mean, honestly, I love playing violent video games, you know, and that obviously means that I'm a rape supporter and part of the patriarchy. So just get with the program.
I've never heard violent video games thrown into the
there's
rape supporter one.
There's a lady who does speaking engagements up in our area, Megan Walker, and she's part of this feminist abolitionist group, or whatever the hell they call themselves. They're basically trying to say that violent video games are part of this patriarchal objectification of women, and that young men and boys who play games like Grand Theft Auto are essentially rape supporters. That we support rape and rape culture.
It's a game about stealing cars.
Oh, because there's hookers in it, and you can beat the hookers and steal their money.
Well, no, you steal your money back.
Well, yeah.
That's right. You earned that money.
Obviously, this is just a man who's complaining that he didn't get the services he wanted.
You're not raping them because you pay them, and then after you pay them, you murder them. So it was consensual.
Oh,
well, you know,
the murder was not consensual, so that makes you a murderer.
I'm just saying this is what she says. It doesn't make it makes as much sense as any of that really extremist feminist views.
This is kind of what I was talking about before. Feminism, when it gets into the really radical, I was just saying this online to someone the other day. It's kind of amazing how when you get into the really far out there area, they go, essentially, a woman that gets into feminism, I think there's a kind of a sexual liberation, right? A lot of the kind of prudishness about sex can start being peeled away depending on your background.
Yeah.
But strangely enough, a lot of them that get really into the radical, they have a whole new sense of prudishness that hits them. You know, they look at all of these images and they start seeing, what was a good example that most people would know would be Rebecca Watson. When she first started kind of being known, she did that calendar for atheism where she posed nude. Now she's ashamed of it and she thinks it was wrong and it was objectifying herself. Like, really? It was your body, right? It was your choice. I don't get
Every one of those calendars is a printed object. I will give her that.
Well, technically that is correct.
She objectified herself in mass.
I don't
There's
see
naked pictures of Rebecca Watson on the internet?
Yep. Well, she's strategically laying there so you can't really see anything, but you can tell she's naked.
Looks like a frumpy bag with big, giant teeth.
I actually rode an elevator with her once.
Oh, and you survived, did you?
Did you ask her out for coffee?
I was so hungover. It was at a Dragon Con a year or so ago.
Oh, I remember, yeah. I remember you.
I'm just shit-faced hungover. I went down to get some coffee. I was taking the elevator back up to my room. You know, fucking drool hanging out my mouth. No one else in the elevator. Elevator stops at the second floor. All of a sudden, these two girls come in. One of them has red hair and glasses. And I kind of did a double take. And when it hit me that this was Rebecca Watson in front of me, she got off at like the 5th floor. It's like, son of a bitch. I drink too goddamn much. I could have had so much fun with that.
You could have been Elevator Gate Part 2.
Was this after or before?
This was way after.
Oh, no. I would like to meet her, but like...
I don't want to. She said mean things about me on her blog.
But I would want to meet her, but I would approach her kind of like Jane Goodall would approach a gorilla and just raise my one hand and let her make the first move.
Good,
so that
Befriend.
So that she can't say that I did anything wrong. He was mocking me.
I don't know. I'm really bitter about some of the shit she said about me on her blog. Actually, about my whole peace project, because I actually started that project to do some good, and she labeled me as a fame-seeking creep. And maybe she got me confused with Brian Allen, my partner, who is the fame seeker in our group. And,
Ryan was on like our 3rd episode.
yeah, I mean, that guy will not fucking... He won't fuck with you. He will just say, yeah, I want to be famous, and I really just want to make the world less stupid and more profane.
But see, that's probably why your partnership works well.
Yeah.
You each have related, but not quite the same goals.
Exactly. Well, he wants to make the world more profane, too, so...
No conflict there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Me personally, I've always been a fan of the idea of ridicule. Ridicule works. Like, I mean, if you put it intelligently and apply your skepticism and reason to an argument, you can ridicule the other side with a ridiculous position. And if I have said in the past that I believe that as a community of atheists, we really should concentrate on the one thing that unites us, which is our general skepticism for ideology. And if ideology starts injecting itself into our midst, then we need to get rid of it. They can say they're forming the group that's separate from us, but the rest of us need to go, no, we're good with that. We're the core group. You're the crazy ones. Get out.
Yeah. No, actually, I don't want them to get out. I want them to stay with the core group, and I want the core group to hopefully have some positive influence on them or convince them that their ideology is a little too horrible.
I mean, the ideology. Get the ideology out.
Yeah, confront it or discuss it. And that's one thing about skepticism is that a lot of even really well-known skeptics refuse to discuss social issues. Social ideology seems to be something that they really fear discussing in an open format.
Because they're not hard sciences.
Well, I think that's all the more reason. Myself, I think that's all the more reason why we should discuss them and bat them back and forth, is because we really do need to start challenging a lot of our assumptions on these issues. I can see why they don't want to really get into them, but sometimes they're dropped on their front doorstep. At that point, why not just bite the bullet and analyze it the same way you would anything else? You don't have to come up with absolute conclusions. Just show how the process works.
Well, the problem is usually when skeptics start talking about social issues, they either say something dumb or they get misunderstood and are labeled mansplaining dude bros and are immediately told to go fuck themselves and die in a fire.
I don't know how dude bro is an insult. I really like that. Sounds good to me. I could be a dude bro. All right.
I don't know. It kind of makes me sound like a frat boy, and that is the last thing. I hate sports. I hate people, so not doing the frat boy thing. I am not a dude bro.
We're not asking you to wear an ascot, though.
And mansplaining is sexist. I don't care who you are or what you stand for. That term is sexist.
Yeah.
So eat a dick.
What is?
Mansplaining. When someone tells you basically shut up by saying you're mansplaining by whatever you're saying, like in other words.
Oh, mansplaining, yeah.
You're just a man and you're just explaining it because you think that you're superior.
When my wife does it, I just say she's bitching.
It's to explain something in a condescending way if you happen to be a male.
Ah.
The issue I took up recently was check your privilege. Yeah, I had a number of discussions with Anton about that, and I think he offered someone to have a debate with me online, but I was pretty sure they wouldn't consent.
You know, privilege is one of the greatest concepts that I've ever seen misused as badly as it has been.
Yeah. Yeah, and
because it makes sense. It's solid. Yes, there are some factors that can make your life a little bit better depending on the society in which you live. But the problem is it's misused because people think that automatically if you're a white male, you've got the most privilege. And there are so many more factors to that. It just blows my mind the way people misuse privilege.
Yeah, what you should be aiming for is opening up the discussion and increasing people's scope of understanding. You know, they might, if somebody comes from a really rough neighborhood, was really poor growing up, and they're talking to me, they don't think that I understand. Why point out my race? Or even my sex and say, okay, the discussion's over, you're white, you're male.
And that's the thing, is one of the biggest factors in privilege has nothing to do with sex or race. It's money. It's wealth. That is by far the largest factor of privilege across the board. It doesn't matter what race you are or sex or how diseased you are. If you're filthy fucking rich, everyone loves you. Or at least wants to hang out with you for your money.
Check your privilege just seems to me to be one of those inefficient ways of saying "shut up, I don't care what you say."
Yeah,
It's a silencing tool. It's
yeah.
shut up and listen.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm a white male. 25 to 35, if you want to look at it statistically.
I'm out of the 35 bracket now.
Yeah.
I'm even worse.
and I didn't get any special handouts.
Yeah.
I've never been wealthy. My parents were lower middle class.
You guys are in Canada, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get free fucking healthcare, so eat a dick. You guys.
Hey, it's not our fault. I was born
Yes, it
here. I
is.
just got lucky.
All of us in America resent you for that. We go broke every time we get sick. And we've got insurance.
Podcast Archives. AU's. Episode 1.
Welcome to A News. I'm Lee Moore.
I'm Brian Allen.
Yes. And everyone else.
Okay, I'm Anton Hill.
And I'm Steve Shives.
We're not on video, so there's no visual cues. We're just like, do you go?
Oh no.
We're trying something new. We all love doing our videos, but doing videos is becoming more and more of a hassle, and we still want to put something out there constantly. So we're going to supplement our videos with podcasts, and we hope you enjoy it.
So this is for your ear pussies. Put this in your ear pussies, and you can hear it.
Or earbuds, depending.
Or that too, yeah. Well,
And
you
yes,
put the
we're
earbud
still
in the
foul-mouthed
ear pussy,
assholes.
so you would put the earbud into your pussy to hear our oral dictations. I don't know. I can't.
Oh my God,
Steve, you're better with words.
That is sexy. I'm not even going to try that one.
All aboard! Well, if it makes you feel any better, you guys don't, you aren't subjects of the Queen in your Constitution, so there's a little something I've been telling Americans over the 4th of July.
We are really big on the whole violent overthrow of anything that isn't freedom, so...
What I find really funny is the discussions I have with right-wing U.S. citizens when you tell them about healthcare. Oh, well, you don't get to choose your own doctor, though.
Yeah, you guys do.
Yeah, I got to choose. I just happen to like the doctor that was my family doctor when I was born, and I've stayed with him.
Yeah,
oh,
makes
well,
sense.
You gotta wait in line for months and months.
No, you fucking
months.
don't. Yeah, well, we get a lot of propaganda about the Canadian healthcare system, and those of us who have actually know Canadians or have been there, we correct them constantly, and it's like talking to a wall. It's like, no, you're wrong. You're not from Canada. You don't know what the hell you're talking. Go fucking suck Obama's dick.
I had dinner with a couple in Florida once who told me that they paid, I think they said they were from New Hampshire, and they said they paid $33,000 for hospital fees and everything after having a single baby.
Yep.
And I said, oh, we had premature twins, and it didn't cost us a thing. And they were in the hospital for 2.5 months. It didn't cost you anything? You just got to take them home? Yeah, they didn't give us a bill at the front door or nothing.
We're going to impound your children.
Over here, you would have had to sell all of your organs to pay for that.
Yeah, and I was just like, they were shocked. They were literally like their entire lives, these two fully grown adults, first-time parents, couldn't believe me and my wife when we said that we had had premature babies that were hospitalized for almost 3 months, and the only thing I had to pay for the entirety of that whole visit was the $45 ambulance ride that I just didn't get my reimbursement for because it was a legitimate emergency.
You know, it's all about the priorities. You guys live in a country that thinks healthcare is more important than profit, and I live in a country that thinks profit's more important than healthcare.
Well, I'm looking forward, I'm hoping that in my lifetime I can see a serious decrease in the U.S. because, I'd say over the last 7 years, 5
What kind
years.
of decrease in the U.S.?
No.
Don't you be talking shit about my country. That's my job.
As a truck driver, not for the last couple years. I spend about half my time in the States now, but a lot more than that I spent in the States for the first 5 years as a truck driver. And what I'm hoping to see for you guys is a slow decrease, even a fast decrease would be nice, in the sense of dog eat dog, that you guys would feel that you can rely on one another socially more. There's, what would be an example? When you guys had that shooting in Sandy Hook, I was at a truck stop that day, and I saw a bunch of truck drivers standing around the TV watching about this. And they were not discussing, the poor kids that were shot. They were discussing how the government's going to use it to take their guns away.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. But it's that sense, I think, not of that I don't think that they're cruel or inhuman, but it's, like you say, the word you use, priorities. Their priority is, well, I don't think anyone's going to help me, so I need my gun.
Pretty much. I mean, we were pretty heavy on that whole inhumane propaganda that the right likes to throw around. And it's not going to go away anytime soon. It might sometime after I'm long and dead and buried, but it's here to stay for now because the newer generations are just as indoctrinated to it as the older ones. The NRA is as big as ever. With the rise of the Tea Party, that's just fucking scary. And yeah, the right is kind of shattering into a whole bunch of different parties, but they still have half the fucking population, so it's not going to change anytime soon.
Master Chief has got to become the Tea Party's mascot.
Master Chief?
Oh yeah, just teabag everyone, fucking everyone, idiots. I got to get a video from my friend that lives down in the States, and he went to a Tea Party rally and started talking with him. He sent me a cell phone video. They're insane. They're not just a little insane. Like, I mean, this is a portion of America that has literally cracked open their own skulls, shat in the place of their brains, and then closed it back up and went, like.
I wouldn't say they're insane. They're very lacking empathy for their fellow American. They've been kind of indoctrinated to think that you're out for yourself, you take care of yourself, and that's very much the conservative policy is you're in it for you. It's free market race. And that's their whole philosophy in life, and that's kind of fucked.
But
my buddy Mike Lee, the religious antagonist, I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of his videos. He is probably the best YouTuber out there.
I think
in my opinion.
I think I've seen one of his videos at some point. I don't follow his channel, but I think I've seen one.
He went to a Tea Party rally dressed as George Washington, got everyone to love him because, of course, they love the founding fucking fathers, even though they have no idea what the founding fathers actually stood for.
Yep.
He went there dressed as George Washington, wandered around, and then started talking about we need to bring things back to the roots. We love our guns and our Bibles. And then at one point, he got a friend of his who happened to be black to let him drag through the Tea Party rally in chains. He pulled out a megaphone and started screaming, "Let's bring back slavery!" at a fucking Tea Party rally, dragging a black guy in chains.
Wow,
that is the ultimate troll.
Wow.
That guy has balls the size of planets.
What was the reaction? Do you remember what the crowd did?
He got the fuck out of there before the crowd rioted. I think at that point the crowd realized he was not on their side, or if he was a little too crazy even for the Tea Party. But yeah, that's
so they have a limit.
They have a limit of what they'll do publicly. Behind closed doors, I'm pretty sure they are all about bring back slavery.
Yeah, they probably had their stonecutters meeting after that guy left, and they're like, "Hey, bringing back slavery might actually work. We should do that."
People who say that racism is dead and buried in this country are idiots. I know for a fact that racism is still heavily. It's the way to be down here. So the slavery debate is ongoing.
I remember being in the States when Hillary and Obama were still competing for the nomination, and it seemed like it went on forever. But at one point, I was, it's a regular workplace, regular guys in Ohio running a shipping area. And so I asked them, I said, if none of them were going to vote Democrat anyways, but I said, if you had to choose between these two that are always on the news, Obama and Hillary, which one would it be? And without missing a beat, the one guy looks at me and goes, I'd vote for Obama if I had to choose. I was like, wow, that was quick. And everyone agreed with him. He's like, well, what made it so decisive? He goes, well, I'd rather have a N-word. I'd rather have an N-word in the office, but he wasn't using N-word.
Yeah.
than a bitch. And I was like, what? And everyone just was like, yeah, that's right.
I would have chosen Obama. I did choose Obama over Hillary, and I still would. Not because of the sex or race, but because Hillary Clinton is a horrible person. And I really fucking hate her. For the next election, I want Elizabeth Warren. I love Elizabeth Warren. She's brilliant. She's not a horrible person. But it's probably going to go to Hillary Clinton. And I'm fucking sick of this American nepotism. I'm sick of these really horrible, badly performing people getting the positions.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about politics from time to time. I think you have a pretty balanced, reasonable approach to the way you look at stuff. The point of the story, though, is just that this was in a northern state, and a lot of times the myth is that in the South they use terms like this and they speak this way, but in the North they don't.
Oh, they have rednecks everywhere.
Yeah. It proliferates depending on where you are and who you're talking to. It could be anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, even here in New York City, there's actually quite a bit of racism and self-segregation. It's weird. You've got these ethnic neighborhoods, and it's kind of creepy.
I know it's been a while and they're still together, but I wonder if Hillary winning and getting into the Oval Office will give her like some anger towards Bill, like being back at the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
Just
she's gonna have
maybe she'll get herself an intern to shove a cigar up her vagina.
Oh, you.
It's poetic justice.
You.
One of the reasons I fucking hate Hillary Clinton is she didn't fucking publicly destroy Bill for that shit.
Yeah, that was pretty rough to watch, but it is kind of.
I was just like, wow, you're fucking weak.
Well, one of the things I thought was that the two of them might have like an open marriage situation on the side. Like that, who knows
and
what?
Fucking tell us.
Yeah, but if they did that, it would be political suicide. So no matter how you look at it, I think it comes back to.
He was already elected. He was in his second fucking term. He wasn't gonna go down. He was done with pretty much elections.
I mean, I think
be honest.
I think she already had her own aspirations in mind, and so, no matter how you look at it, I think it does come back to her, thinking of her career over dealing with him the way she really would have if she was free of those concerns. I think she would have kicked his ass.
Now, I appreciate the people who want to be honest with their lifestyle choices.
Yeah, well, I mean, as time goes by, maybe we'll have a little bit more tolerance for that. But even in Canada, people are pretty prudish about that stuff when it comes to politics.
I really don't understand that. I've had discussions with like seniors and with young people, and the attitude doesn't seem to shift as much with young people as it does with seniors. If a politician is caught lying or caught in an affair, they're like, oh, he's not fit for public office. And I'm like, what does one thing have to do with the other? If you're bad in bed, that doesn't mean you're bad at your job. If you're cheating on your wife, that doesn't mean you're going to cheat on your taxes. Like, one does not equate to the other.
Not necessarily, anyway.
Well, like I mean,
maybe you bring your taxes into bed with you while you're cheating, and it's all part of the kink.
But you get the point, though. Like I mean, honestly, I've seen people who are just horrible people who are really, really good at their particular skill set. Yeah. And I've seen the inverse people.
Sociopaths are very functional. they fucking rule the world here.
Yeah, they're able to make the tough calls, I'm told.
Yeah.
Fucking people over to get ahead is actually effective.
Well,
welcome to America.
But what I don't understand is the rest of us, the general populace who have this purity view of politicians. It is unrealistic to expect from them, our leaders, what we ourselves can't do on a regular basis.
Yeah. Well, we've also lost that journalistic edge where the journalists used to take down politicians. But not just with like repeating smears but they used to do investigations to find out that they had been paying someone off or that they had invested interest or they were hiding documents. And that stuff doesn't go on anymore.
Showing a picture of your dick on Twitter is all it takes.
That's what, yeah. Look, this guy's got his dick out on the internet.
Yeah.
Poor Anthony Weiner. I used to really like that guy and just... do it once, shame on you. Do it 15 times after you've already gotten rehab for it and are trying to run for more offices. Just die. Just fucking kill yourself because you're done with life.
Well, okay,
have you seen that guy's wife?
No.
She's hot.
Smoking.
Oh my God.
Like supermodel, gorgeous. And when she's brilliant. Like that is the complete package right there. And he's off fucking showing his dick pic to what, waitresses or something? Or interns?
Wow.
What the hell? You fucking won the wife lottery. I mean, not as much as I did. I really won the wife lottery. But he came really goddamn close. And what the hell is wrong with you, Anthony Weiner?
But that's what I mean. At least, I mean, he did it under an alias. So, I mean, he's hiding it too, but, do...
Captain Weiner.
I hope that's what he named his penis.
Captain Fantastic.
And his wife's the same if she puts up with that every night. Like, here comes Captain Weiner. Yes, dear.
With a name like that, this was like foreshadowing brought to life. Come on. I don't know, but like, I mean, do you think that the public's reaction to the Wienergate was overdone, or do you think that just the fact that he kept repeating the same MO was more the reason why he kind of deserved what he got?
He has done nothing that other politicians haven't done 100 times over and worse. But he was a Democrat, so he did get kind of a lot of the brunt of that. I mean, there was a governor in South Carolina that used public money to go to Argentina to have sex with Argentinian prostitutes. Yeah. And now he's a senator in South Carolina.
Yep.
So, I mean, that kind of scandal, it's really only bad if you're a Democrat.
Well, this might be one of the reasons the Republican Party has so many fractures in it right now, fractures in it right now, is because they refuse to go after their own guys, no matter how corrupt they are. They always just make excuses.
But they come together to fuck with anyone who's on the liberal side. So.
Yeah. Yep, they could all...
And Anthony Weiner supported Israel, so fuck him to begin with.
Well, that's a touchy subject, too, with political stuff I've noticed, too, the whole Israel thing.
I'm sorry, if you support an overseas theocracy, go fuck yourself. I don't care that they're the nice kind of theocracy or the tolerant kind of theocracy that still murders people. You support a theocracy of any religion, you are on the side of wrong and you need to die. Or at least not have any kind of authority or power whatsoever.
How many theocracies worldwide do you think the United States supports? Like, I mean,
besides Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
there's another one. Yeah.
I mean, that's a big. There's one that's actually openly hostile to atheists now. Well, not like that's anything new, but and yeah, we have contracts with them. We support them militarily. They're pretty much the ones who started the whole 9/11 thing, and we still got their backs.
Does Texas count Does Texas count as a theocracy?
I don't know.
It wants to be. It certainly does want to be. And if Clarence Thomas has his way, it may very well be one day. But it's not. There is no state religion in any of the states. Luckily, thank God.
Don't you think that maybe part of the problem with the people who support, well, so many of the people that support Israel is that they perceive it as a straight up democracy. They don't really understand how much religion plays into the system that they have there.
Well, it actually is a democracy. It's a theocratic when all of your leaders are Jewish, and they're all about the whole I don't know what you call it, Mosaic law. Whatever the fuck Jew law is.
Judaism, whatever. Yeah.
They're all about pushing that kind of thing, or Abrahamic law, and yeah, they don't make it as concrete as most nations that are all about Sharia law.
Well, I know that I didn't realize till a while back that they have their court system. And then they have a traditional court system that's all about their religious laws and their customs. And I learned about this through a case where a woman had decided something about she's having a baby, and she decided not to circumcise the child. And the father of the child decided to take her to court, and they were fining her, I forget how many $100 a day until she would get this done to her child. And she was not able to appeal this in regular court. This court stands by law. Like that is theocratic, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. It's an odd sort of theocracy because they know they're pretty much supported by us, and in order to continue to be supported by us, they can't get too crazy or too public with the whole "you follow Jew law or suffer." So yeah, they kind of keep a lot of that on the down low. But yeah, it's still there, and it's horrible. And they also like to blow up brown people way more than we do, and we really love blowing up brown people. Let me tell you, that is just as American as apple pie and fucking baseball.
Now I'm imagining a rabbi and Abraham Lincoln hand in hand, skipping down the laneway, going to blow up some brown people.
I wouldn't say Abraham Lincoln is a good example of an American. Maybe George Bush.
George Bush, there you go.
That guy. Well, both of the Bushes. All about blowing up brown people.
It's a Bush family tradition.
Fucking made it. It is an art form to those fuckers. God damn.
Along with apple pie. Oh my gosh.
That's your halftime show at your baseball game is watch the brown people explode. Yay, America. Who wants another slice?
I'm just surprised that some of the people on the right haven't proposed that they put like landmines on a football field. Well, you blow up more brown people in a single football game than you will any other time.
American black football players, for some reason, the racism doesn't apply to them.
No, they're white.
I don't fucking get it.
They are white.
They're rich.
Well, that's
rich,
true.
Therefore, they can't be black. Yeah, racism doesn't make any goddamn sense in this country.
No.
But I don't think it makes any sense anywhere, so...
Okay, what about this Donald Sterling? I want your opinion on Donald Sterling. I know it's old news. I'm sorry.
Donald Sterling.
Oh,
No,
never
who is
mind. He's that the owner of that the Clippers that went all racism.
That guy.
He's
old.
Yeah, he's old.
People say the really important thing. Yes, he shouldn't own a fucking sports team or anything. He should be in his fucking wheelchair, eating applesauce with a straw, having his adult things changed.
I'm glad you're clear about that.
Yeah. That old generation where, people grew up and racism was the mainstream. Yeah, what the fuck do you expect from those assholes? No, they shouldn't have any kind of authority or say, but we shouldn't be surprised when they say things that they grew up saying.
I don't find it particularly shocking that it came out of a man of that age's mouth. I mean, even in Canada, there's relatives in my own family who are no longer with us, but at the time, they'd tell stories.
You guys hate Eskimos or something?
No.
Up here we call them Inuits.
I call them Eskimos. Fuck you, man.
Oh, okay. Fucking Inuits. Taking all our jobs.
They're gonna be so rich, those Inuits, when all the ice melts and they get to that oil first.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's right. They're gonna have new companies. Inuit Inc.
Yeah. Take over the world.
They'll be so happy to have white people working for them.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. Racism doesn't make any sense anywhere it goes. I've never understood it. I really haven't, because I'm not racist. I'm not. I'll tell a racist joke when I look over my shoulder and make sure the coast is clear, but that's different.
There's a difference between...
I don't even really like the term racist anymore. If you can judge someone by their skin color, their sex, or anything that is not particularly their choice, you're not necessarily a racist. You're an idiot. I'm sorry, but if you actually think that skin color and sex can sum up someone's worth, you're a fucking idiot. And we're done.
We out. Bye.
No point continuing this conversation.
I've got nothing to say to you. If that's what you think and there's nothing that's going to change your mind, you're done. Fucking die already. Old age. Or get on it. Don't fucking vote while you're doing that whole aging thing.
The underlying goal here is to replace the stereotype of the angry atheist as a Scrooge with the notion that the godless also want to have fun at this time of year. And why not? We're trying to ride the crest of that wave and bring a more open, vocal, and proud face of atheism, said Michael Dorian, 49, New York's regional director for American Atheists. There you go. Mr. Dorian in the New York Times. We don't fuck around, you know? They also got my age wrong by 10 years, but I'm not going to complain.
Before I forget, I want to make sure that we get around to talking to you about Godless Revival.
Ah, the fun stuff. Let the fun begin. What you want to know about the Godless Revival, or should I just start ranting the story?
Yeah, we'll
you guys
start
can actually
with,
interview me.
You don't have to hold any punches if you don't want to. Just tell us about how you got started in the first place, its origins, and how it got to be where it is now.
Well, early on, we were talking about the fun of mockery, and the fun of mockery is actually what got me involved in the Sunday Assembly, that whole church scam that came over to the States not too long ago by Sanderson Jones and Pippa Evans. And I thought it was a cool concept because it was billed as an atheist church, so I wanted to check it out. And I did, and I was like, wow, they're really fucking mocking everything that a church does. At least that's what I thought I was seeing, was these people on stage just having a cheap little giggle at the church setup, the church environment. And I was like, yeah, I want to get involved. This is fun. It's like trolling to a whole new level, and people seem to be enjoying it quite a bit, so why not? So I got involved with the first Sunday Assembly up here, the New York City Sunday Assembly, ended up on their board of directors, and myself and several others kind of had that same philosophy that, you know, this is, we're mocking church, we're having fun, go atheism. And we had this idea that we should have atheist speakers, we should use the term atheism, and then we started getting orders from Sanderson saying, you guys can't have atheist activist speakers, you guys can't use the word atheism, we're not atheists, we're post-theist, yada, 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 and
Wow.
You guys need to send the collections you take in to Sanderson and all this other shit. And the board was kind of split. I mean, the majority of us were on the fuck you. we're going to do the atheism shit and fuck you and your greed. We'll do whatever the fuck we want. And the minority said, no, we're just going to keep sucking that Sanderson cock and do whatever the fuck he says because he's great white ginger Jesus. And they ended up going off to do. They found a way to kick us all out of the Sunday Assembly and just keep doing their really lame and turn it into a really lame, kind of boring old people show that's for like really old, rich white liberals.
Which really, I mean, that's just on that point. That's a direct violation of what a board of directors is for. Is you're violating the majority, which is why the board is there in the first place. Is for the majority to decide on issues.
Yeah, it was really fucked up. It was corrupt. It was probably illegal. And if we really wanted to be assholes about it, we could. But so we just said, fuck it. Let's actually have that mockery of religion that they want. Because they actually, the ones that left, took the whole church environment seriously. They took the collection plate shit seriously, the sing-alongs. They thought all those lame, happy things that we thought were mocking, that was something to embrace, not to...
So you knew they were a joke, and they thought they were serious.
Yeah, so we decided we're going to start our own event, our own monthly event to give atheists something to do on Sundays. But let's take all that fucking candy coat bullshit out of it and make something new, make something fun. So we created the Godless Revival, America's first and only atheist variety show. We take all of those talented atheists in our area, we put them up on stage, comedians, musicians, speakers, you name it, and we fucking flood that room with alcohol, and it's brunch for your brain.
Yeah, I've listened to some, I've been seeing the posts you put up. Some of the guests you guys have sounded really interesting. Setting aside the entertainment value, which is there, which is comedians, musicians, but you've also recently, for instance, had that one blogger who escaped from
Bangladesh, yeah.
Yeah, who they were trying to kill him. He's an atheist blogger. They're trying to kill him, and this guy got away, and he spoke at the Godless Revival.
Nice.
You know, it's amazing how many refugees from other countries that have been persecuted for being an atheist that I meet up here and do my best to promote. Because their stories, while horrific, need to be told. They need to be understood by the rest of us that, yeah, we actually do have a little bit of privilege because they ain't trying to fucking murder us over here. And we need to do our absolute best to support those folks in those nations, either get them out or help them bring about some change. And that's something I'm really glad the Godless Revival was able to help do, is spread that message. But yeah, we the speakers we have are just amazing, talented, brilliant. Their stories are heartwarming, funny, but it's stuff that we think people need to hear. Our comedians, we've got actually some of the best on earth because it's fucking New York. Our we've got a house band that's called Jehovah's Favorite Choir. Our musical director, Don Kennedy, brilliant guy, one of the most talented musicians I know, fucking rocks the stage every month. And then our host, Michael Dorian, he tries to be funny. He's sometimes funny. And then there's me, and I get to do angry rants. I get to debaptize people. It's a lot of fun. We posted some videos of some of the goings-on at the Godless Revival, so check it out. But more importantly, we're trying to set up the Godless Revival as an open-source event. And that means you or anybody you know anywhere on Earth can start up your own Godless Revival. You don't have to give a shit, and we'll fucking help you out. We'll help you get started. We'll help you a little bit with our format, and you can mix it and match it and make it your own. So we want the Atheist Variety Show to spread, and we need people like you and your audience to start up your own Godless Revival. If you're interested, you should contact me.
Nice. I'll put up links too in the show notes. I'll put up links for where they can find your stuff.
Yeah, so how do you do debaptism? Does it involve a blow dryer or like a heater?
Oh, the debaptism?
You know, Edwin Kagan did the whole blow dryer debaptism, and it was after he died. It was after he died, he decided that, you know, in honor of Edwin Kagan, we're going to keep doing the debaptisms, but this is us, and I don't like blow dryers. I like tequila.
Tequila?
So you don't pour the tequila on their head like when he did the blow dryers?
No, we just make them do shots.
Oh, that works too. Keep drinking these until you vomit out your baptism.
You tell me which particular denomination you were waterboarded for Jesus in, and then I make fun of it and you a little bit. And then I ask you if you are now if you are free and clear of all that bullshit and ready for sin. And then you say yes, and then I lay my hands upon you, and I'm wearing my magic silly hat, and I pronounce you free for sin and ready for evil, and drink your goddamn shot because you're debaptized. And then the audience cheers, and there's much celebration.
That's awesome.
That's not a bad guess. I had never heard of a debaptism before, except for the one Bill Maher did. That was Romney's father-in-law, or
but that was to make him gay, wasn't it?
No.
That was what the Satanic Church did.
Oh, the Satanic Church did the gay one.
A ceremony
That makes people, dead Mormons, gay.
Yeah. Yeah, in response to the whole Mormon post-life baptisms, which is just fucking sick in my opinion. Yeah, let's troll it. That's what I love about the Satanic Church or the Satanic Temple. They're professional trolls. They actually got the whole troll formula, the great troll tactic right, and they do it so well. I actually want to hang out with the Satanists more than the atheists these days, just because of how effective they are.
Well,
and they are pretty much atheists.
I've been listening to Reed Payton's new show about modern Satanism, and it sounds like they're basically atheists that have a specific type of angle on how they bring their issues to the public.
I've always said they're atheists with spunk.
Yeah,
and I like that. I like spunk.
Did you see that statue they had made?
Dude, I'm dying to get a hold of the Lucian Greaves because he's in New York, and so is that statue right now. I want to go there with my camera. I'm going to sit on Baphomet's lap, have my picture taken. I want to get fucking ultimate fanboy on that statue.
The fact there's kids included in the statue looking up to him is just perfect. It's just perfect.
I love that thing.
You have it next to the 10 Commandments. I wonder which one's going to get more attention. That's awesome. Yeah, I like their style. I like it.
I give that thing 10 minutes after being erected before it's vandalized in some horrible way.
Yep.
I kind of want to go down there and stand guard around it. It's just such an amazing piece of art. And if I had the money, I would totally commission one of those for my living room.
It had a lot of detail. I looked at it and I had heard them talking about it. It is a really good piece of work.
I gotta look this thing up now.
I thought I mentioned.
Well, if you go to my Facebook, it's actually my cover photo.
Oh, is it? Nice.
That is how much I love that statue.
So, Godless Revival moving forward, obviously you wanted to expand people to take on. When people come to you for advice, there's a lot of flexibility, right? That's the whole point, is that
it's an open source concept. You make it your own. We're giving you pointers. We'll help you get with we'll show you what we did, and let's see what you can do. And if you need any support along the lines, we're there for you. We don't want your money. We just want you to have a successful show.
I've also not really I've not appreciated hearing the sideways shots that have come from Sanderson and bitterness about people not agreeing with him, people going their own path on it.
Well, the problem with Sanderson Jones is he wants to be the next L. Ron Hubbard.
But I have for years been having this debate with atheists, telling them that they have a religion, and thank God that or thank the gods, or maybe the bunny rabbits, or whatever, that you're coming out and saying, "Here we are, come to our church."
I think there's a huge difference, though. The difference between a religion and another form of belief is that this one requires no faith.
Money, 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 money.
I have sinned against you, my Lord, and I would ask that your precious blood would wash and cleanse every stain until it is in the seas of God's forgetfulness, never to be remembered against me anymore.
The difference between a religion and another form of belief is that this one requires no faith.
He wants to actually be a church leader, and he wants to make money the way a church leader makes money. In other words, he wants to be filthy fucking rich. And I'm sorry, dude, but we're not going to sit by and let you sell religion to the non-religious, you fucking shithead.
Don't mince words, Lee. Tell us how you really feel.
No, I mean, that guy, he's very charismatic, and I will give him that. And he's kind of funny, but that shouldn't mean you get a fucking paycheck for having a religion. That shouldn't mean that you get... In his books, they're like he tried to raise $100,000 to pay a webmaster or some shit like that. There's just a lot of inconsistencies, irregularities, and I don't know if it's just because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, which is possible, because I wouldn't know what the fuck I was doing if I was trying to start my own religion. But it's still, you're selling religion to atheists, you fucking worthless shitlord.
Yeah. Well, I agree with your criticisms and your sentiments towards him. And I'll just say that I also think very highly of the fact that you and many other people with you have decided to make something positive out of the bad situation you were left in. With the people who are still sticking with him, the people that you know anyways, that you knew, what do you think is his biggest following? Is it mostly people who used to be religious, became atheists, and they tend to stick with him?
It's people that don't necessarily like the more firebrand atheist attitude that a lot of us have. They're more of the humanist thing. It's people that identify more as humanists than atheists.
Can't we all just get along?
Like the ethical culture society people that spend more time criticizing atheists than they do religious people. It's that whole that's where they're getting their support from.
It's
the old white liberal crowd that's very humanistic.
Oh, okay, yeah. The Diet Coke of atheism.
Yeah.
They're changing brands.
The Diet Tab.
The Diet Tab. Oh no.
But that's pretty much the crowd, and I really don't like most of those people anyway. So good riddance. I want a show where we celebrate our atheism, where we don't hold back, where we don't shy away from the issues, where we have fun, have a drink, and get to know one another. That's more of my deal, and that's the kind of thing I want to present to the world, and that's what we do with the Godless Revival.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think that necessarily this block of atheists would fall into the crowd that follows this guy, but I'm actually kind of surprised at how many North American atheists still don't accept evolution.
There are North American atheists that don't accept evolution?
Yeah.
Where?
All over the internet, man. They're everywhere.
Well,
I don't know. Some of them are probably trolls. I'll give you that. But, I've met a few.
That can't be right.
Well,
there cannot be North American atheists who do not accept it. What the fuck else you got?
Well,
you're an atheist, so obviously you're not buying the creation story.
But atheist is a really general term, right? You're not using the term skeptic or something more specific. Atheist can encompass a lot of people, right?
I know. There are atheists who believe in ancient aliens, and to you folks, wow. Seriously. I know glue, it smells awesome, but you really shouldn't sniff it.
Are you saying, Lee, that you don't believe that we all came from Atlantis?
Lemuria.
Yes,
Lemuria.
I'm saying that we didn't all fucking come from some mystical, magical continent that no longer exists.
It was Lemuria. Atlantis came much, much later, and where all those fifth-dimensional beings come from. Remember that video that we watched?
Oh, yeah.
There probably were a whole bunch of fucking continents that don't exist anymore that are at the bottom of the goddamn ocean because our planet's crust likes to change. That does not fucking mean we had some ancient mystical civilization. We don't fucking know.
Oh, don't start spreading your lies on our show here. The crust doesn't change. The Earth expands. Oh my gosh. No, but I have
pyramid power the hell away from me.
I've met atheists for real who are like, no, I don't believe in God or religion or anything like that. And then, just through the course of conversation, I'll be like, I find biology to be one of my great personal side interests. I just love talking about it and debating it. And more than a few times I've been like, oh, well, I don't believe we came from apes. And I'm like, we are apes. Oh no, that's bullshit. We're way better than apes. And
you understand we're primates, dude.
Yeah. You can't explain it to
they're
them.
Primates.
Yep.
That same resistance that you get from religious individuals seems to be ingrained in them, and they're not always from a religious background. So that's what I don't understand. What the rejection of it is. But they exist.
It's like also the hardcore libertarian conspiracy theory atheists. Those guys blow my mind. 9/11 was an inside job, and
the Illuminati.
I know Bush is a horrible person, and Cheney is a horrible person, but that doesn't necessarily mean they did all these things, and you don't have evidence to back up your claims. And yes, we fucking landed on the goddamn moon. And what the hell is wrong with you? People will believe anything, and God is just one of those things. Yeah, but you're absolutely right. It does not make you a skeptic being an atheist. I like to be a skeptic and an atheist. Well, America did. You guys didn't.
Yeah. We sent an arm into space.
Yeah.
You guys don't have enough freedom to go to the moon.
Well, if the Queen would let us, then we would.
I don't think we can take a tall ship into the stratosphere.
We send a big robotic arm,
yeah,
which one day will be used for helping many, many people masturbate.
Well, when NASA dies a slow and painful death from defunding, our Canadarm can flip at the bird and
that's right.
remain in orbit.
Yeah, sadly, NASA is kind of in trouble these days. It makes me sad. NASA has always been one of the only sources of national pride I've had, and it's just a shame to see them fall on such hard times.
Hopefully that somehow turns around in the near future, because they are really an amazing organization with an amazing history.
Yeah, they went to the fucking moon.
Yeah. And they're exploring.
You can't top that. Any conversation, we went to the moon. What did you do? They won everything for like ever. We went to the moon. We've been on more than one fucking planet, dude.
I think they can top it. Honestly, I am always more impressed to realize that there is a device exiting our solar system as we speak that was launched right around the time of my birth. You know, that to me is slightly more amazing than landing on the moon. I don't know why I regard that as more amazing. Maybe it's the distance traveled. Maybe it's the fact that something man-made survived that journey and didn't get hit or blown up or knocked off course, and it's still transmitting information and will for another couple of decades before its power source dies. And that to me is the saddest part, is that it will continue on its journey. And we'll never know after another 10 or 15 years. I can't remember how long that power source will last, but
we know because that documentary where V'ger comes back to try and destroy the Earth and Spock has to stop it.
Yes, V'ger.
I don't think that was a documentary.
No,
Voyager would be more impressive than the moon landing if there was a human being inside Voyager still alive right now.
I don't think the human being would think that.
Probably not.
I made a mistake.
Holy shit! They invented real dolls on Earth. We got to go back.
Well, I get what you're saying. For we put a man on the moon and we brought him back, and we did it, and you guys did it a bunch of times. That I will give you is an amazing human achievement, but as a technical achievement, I think they're on par. That's just my personal opinion, though. I don't have anything to back
First
that up.
man-made attempt to escape.
Well, your opinion is wrong.
Fair enough.
Yeah, my the one I always go to for conspiracy theory is the Illuminati, which are reptilian shapeshifters.
Actually, they're actually real. I totally saw this show on TV about them. They're fucking real, dude. They're fucking everywhere.
Yeah, they're reptilian shapeshifters. The Bushes, the royal family, they all come from another dimension. I know it's true because someone said it.
Yeah, it's like that show V, only it's real.
Yeah. Isn't it funny too how these people who believe this stuff can't seem to admit to themselves that only after a major science fiction comes out do the form of their delusions go into those shapes.
How come nobody believes that Klingons are trying to conquer us then? Like, I mean, really?
Well, maybe there are people somewhere who believe Klingons.
If you've ever been to a Star Trek convention, there's actually evidence to support that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the Klingons are fucking drinkers.
Yeah. They're
way more than the Borg.
They're blood wine.
The after parties at Star Trek conventions in bars, man, there's nothing like throwing down with a bunch of fuckers dressed like Klingons.
I can tell you something about Star Trek conventions. Those Bajorn bitches. Yeah. Wow, they're crazy. Just as far as conspiracy theories go, like I have sent several nasty old man angry old man Grandpa Simpson letters to the History Network. They're a history network. They should be covering content that has to do with history or theories on history. Like some of their shows, like Ancient Aliens, has no business being on a network called the History Network.
Everything's about ratings.
Well, it's more like, I think it's like the Pawn Star channel now. Every time I turn to it, it's the show about a pawn shop, and I'm like, why do I give a shit about a pawn shop? This old guy just made a shitload of money buying some cheap piece of crap and putting a floor buffer to it and then selling it at auction. How is this history?
Yeah.
You found garbage and you made it profit from it. You're an idiot, and this show is terrible. And yet people watch it. It's like their most popular show.
Watching those shows...
I miss the history...
Go ahead.
No, when it was the fucking Hitler channel, that was fun. I missed the Hitler channel.
World War
II was at least fucking interesting, and it happened in history.
But you're right. Before this whole thing hit, it was everything World War II over and over. It's like, welcome to World War II planes, followed by World War II tanks, and then World War II people.
I could watch that for years straight, and I would be entertained as long as you kept generating new content about World War II, because so much went on. It was such an interesting concept. But no, they got bored with the most interesting thing that ever happened to humanity.
Well, I mean, there are tons of other interesting things that they could have covered. Like, I didn't mind history and film.
Aside from the moon landing.
Aside from the moon landing, yes. They should do more about the moon landing.
They could mix that in with World War II. How about they mix it in with World War II? Hitler could be on the shuttle.
They got Nazis on the moon. There's a movie about that.
Werner von Braun, someone we sort of kidnapped from Nazi Germany, was to build our rocket technology at gunpoints.
It's true. But
he's a real American hero.
The
fucker built the weapons that fucking terrorized London and
America
turned them into the guy who sent us to the moon.
Yeah.
Wunderbar, America.
Spoils the fucking world. Fucking Einstein came over willingly. So I love him. Werner von Braun.
I don't know. I'm always gonna find conspiracy theories just funny, and shit like the History Channel fucking just drives me batshit. Sure, I agree with you. They should play World War II reruns. They fucking every film or picture ever taken before they put on shows like Ancient Aliens or Pawn Stars. I mean, even Ancients Behaving Badly, which is kind of like a highly, highly popularized version they try to sensationalize the history background, Was Caligula a goal-driven killer or a violent sociopath? Fucking cares, but whatever. It still has to do with history, and if you want to put a scale in there that gives your opinion on where he fell without actually having him around to psychologically analyze, fine. It still has to do with history. I don't want to watch your Pawn Star shows, your Cajun Pawn Stars, your Pawn Star originals, nothing. It's just
any of the reality TV history stuff they try to do, and the Discovery Channel does it. I remember I was on vacation not too long ago. My wife and I were celebrating our anniversary, and we were flipping through the channels because it was late one night. Everything was closed, and we're on it was either the History or the Discovery Channel. It ended up being this show about this redneck family who lives in the middle of nowhere and build their own cabin and try to survive, and they're all inbred as shit. And there's 14 of them. I'm like, why am I watching this? It's like Honey Boo Boo of rednecks.
Yeah.
How is this entertaining? Why is this interesting?
I think specifically...
These people need...
Sorry, what do they need? I want to know what the hillbilly inbreds need.
Society, education, not that. Yeah, that too. But not in America. We don't give out teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, we have to pay for them up here, too. You have to... Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's not included. See, that's one of the things I make fun of all the time. So apparently teeth are not part of your health. Everything else in your body is part of your health, but not your teeth.
You guys actually have to pay full price for dentistry.
Not full price. No. I mean, if you are of a lower income bracket, you can go to the government and get your children signed up for something called Synot. And what they'll do is they'll take them to a local health care clinic that has a dental chair in the back and two dental hygienists. They'll pick through your kid's teeth and figure out if there are any cavities or how bad their tartar buildup is. And if they feel that they qualify for a required cleaning, they will give you a voucher. You go to your dentist and your kids will get a free cleaning or fillings for any cavities. Adults are pretty much well screwed. You're supposed to get a job and pay for it yourself.
Yeah.
That's insane considering dental costs here. For me to get my teeth fixed, because my teeth are all kinds of horrible, it's going to cost $60,000.
What?
Whoa. I don't know if our prices are that astronomical. I think maybe our market's a little
I'm
less.
in New York.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
The procedure I need in Alabama is like $10,000, but I really don't want to go to
For
Alabama.
For $60,000, the dental hygienist who comes in and cleans your teeth before the dentist come in better give you a hand job. Fuck, and it better be the best one ever.
There is no hand job on earth that's worth $60,000.
I can't argue with that statement.
I'm trying to think of where one would be with.
What about if it was on the moon?
If it was on the moon, well, just the cost of carrying something heavy into space.
With the Canada arm on the moon.
No, for $60,000, I want teeth that can convert seawater to fresh water.
No shit. No, but like, I mean, a cleaning for me as an adult costs $125.
Oh, cleanings, that's nothing up here.
Yeah, but for cavities and anything like that, I think my wife had to have a tooth removed, and she had to go to a dental surgeon for it. And it cost $800.
Yeah, I had a root.
It's 2 to 3 times that here, depending on what exactly you need done to it for an individual tooth.
For a root canal, I think it's just a little over $2,000. At least that was what they're setting for me. I had to go and get it done because I'm a cheap, poor bastard. I had to go get it done at a university near here that has a dental school.
I was an idiot this weekend.
I've gone that route.
I was an idiot on Canada Day weekend, and I was drinking, and I tried to open up one of them bottles with my teeth, and I chipped this tooth here.
Crappy, yeah.
I go to my dentist, and he's like, "Oh yeah, $50, and I'll file it." And I'm like, "File? Like, you mean you'll literally just smooth out the edge?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I'm not paying you $50 for that." I went home and grabbed a file, and I smoothed it out myself.
Yeah.
How about you fix it instead of filing it, asshole?
Exactly.
Years ago when I was in university, I decided to get a tongue ring. And the first tongue ring was fine. Then I got cocky when it started healing up, and I put one on there with a loop on top of it. Just, I don't know why. I don't even know why I got it in the first place, but I was having Christmas dinner, and I bit down on on the metal ring and chipped part of my tooth. Yeah, that's a terrible sound. And go figure, I just was not hungry after that.
Well,
yeah.
No doubt. $60,000 though to fix your mouth. Like, wow. Like, is this common for dental surgery in the United States?
No,
like,
I need something specialized because I've got some issues with my gums.
Okay, yeah. Anything specialized, the price is going to start jumping way up.
Yeah.
No, we don't have eye care coverage either unless it's, there are government programs that cover even the non-essential cares that are not covered by our healthcare system. So generally kids, children under 18 can get a lot of freebies that the adults can't, and even the adults can. Like, I mean, if you're on social assistance like welfare here, your dental costs are going to be chopped down by 3/4.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
No, up here they just say, no, fucking die.
Yeah.
Unless you're...
Learn to like soup.
I was told, I was listening to someone, I don't know who it was or what it was. They're talking about in the military, apparently, you get dental coverage. Is that true?
Yeah.
U.S. military?
Oh, if you're in the military, you get everything covered. And no, I'm not.
So, so the argument that the person was making was I guess they had been in the military. They said, well, if this makes your population fit for combat, doesn't it also make your working population fit all around? Like, isn't this something that should be an investment rather than seen as just a weighted down cost?
That makes sense until you take in the fact that the health insurance companies are funding our politicians' campaigns.
Yeah, yeah.
And taking them out, for weekends at the beach and prostitutes. So really, when it comes down to it, it's our health insurance industry that's to blame. They're buying up our politicians and convincing them that them being rich is more important than us having affordable health care.
Maybe we could reduce some of the corruption if we just allocated money for prostitutes for politicians. If they were
I have made that argument before. No one takes me seriously, and I made it seriously. Spend a little bit of money on government whores and
a little bit for crack if you're in Toronto, for the mayor of Toronto, a little crack cocaine funding.
Oh,
yeah, God. We actually wouldn't elect that guy here, and that's saying something.
Yeah, it's a horror show. It's a train wreck in slow motion.
I don't know why everyone hates on Rob Ford. I love that guy. He's the Chris Farley of Canadian politics.
Oh, I laugh.
Yeah, the thing is, we wouldn't elect Chris Farley.
Well, yours is
we'll
dead.
Elect some fucking dumb people, but if you're the kind of asshole that just brags about smoking crack, you're unelectable here. That's worse. That's actually worse than being an open atheist.
Hey, he was in a picture with black people. That's why you can get elected in America, not because of the crack.
Our president's black. We're kind of changing on that a little. Not enough, but a little.
I think he was just the better option between him and Hillary, as far as from what I'm hearing.
Well, when it comes to Mitt Romney, anything was a better option.
Magic underwear.
Here's a funny story. We accidentally forgot our dog on top of the car once. You didn't hear him tell that story?
Yeah.
He was chuckling about it? Oh my god, dude.
I watched the epic rap battle after he said that 44% comment or whatever, 40,
yeah.
And
47%.
47%, yeah. I mean, like, that is one of those points in time where it's like, how did you get into politics? You like,
I stumbled through a door and they put a pin on me and I was a representative.
Who is that Muppet that they keep referring to him as? Guy Smiley.
Guy Smiley.
It's creepy.
Yeah, now you mention it, he does kind of remind me of Guy Smiley.
Yeah.
Fucking mittens. That guy's still trying to have sort of a public life, and people are talking about making him run for election again, and...
Oh, man.
Did he get hired as a Fox News commentator like all the other loser Republicans do?
Like, he needs the fucking money. He's got way better things to do with his time, like Mormon things. Like wear his magic underwear and do weird Mormon shit.
We really delve into it. I want to talk about Billy Graham. We all know who Billy Graham is, right?
Yes.
He's not dead yet.
The 90-plus-year-old Keebler elf living in
Keebler.
his high mountaintop palace in North Carolina, pretty much directing the evangelical movement throughout the planet. That Billy Graham, that fuckhead that I think related to.
Yeah,
anyways, Billy Graham has recently done two things that are of incredible interest to us. The first being on his website, and of course the opinion of evangelicals always is non-Christians are cult members. Jews are cult members. Mormons, cult members. Well, the Mormons have recently been removed from that list. Billy Graham has at the same time given a public endorsement to Mitt Romney, to a man who follows a religion that is so different from his own, against a man who follows a religion that is almost identical to his own.
Yeah. He went up there and prayed with him, right? He went up there and
yeah, Romney went up there and they hung out, and I guess he put a couple 20s in his boxers.
What's happening with Sarah Palin nowadays? I miss her.
Sarah Palin.
She's self-destructed so many times now to the point where I think we've stopped caring. We've just stopped giving her attention.
Setting aside the issue of wearing nice clothes and having nice makeup, if she was found homeless and rambling on a street, in an alleyway somewhere, there'd be no difference in what she's saying. It sounds exactly the same.
Pretty much, yeah.
I think back to the days of that election, and all I could think about during that election that she was the VP was, fuck, her daughter's hot. Oh my god. Like, that was about it. That was as much thought as I gave her and any of her family during that original election. Like, McCain himself was just too old to be in politics then. I couldn't believe he won the Republican nomination.
I think it was mostly
I'm kind of surprised how well you guys follow American politics.
Actually, what was amazing to me was years ago, before he switched networks and that whole thing, Conan O'Brien came up to Canada for a week. And one of the segments he'd do every show was about Canadian politics. And he knew all the names, all the situations that were going on. I think he knew more about it than I did.
I don't even know what kind of government you guys have. So I don't even know what you call your leaders over there. So
Prime Minister
shows you, and you guys have prime ministers.
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
that route.
Actually, I was going to joke when you said that most Canadians don't know what type of government we have up here either. So think of it this way: we are a kind of a democracy with similarities to your own setup, but instead of a president,
we're not a democracy.
That's why I said kind of a democracy.
We're not even kind. We are actually Harvard recently did a study to determine what kind of system of government we have, and it was across the board decided that we have an oligarchy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it sucks to be us.
Well, there are still some similarities in the structure, like the basic overlay. So if you think of it as the Queen or her representative takes the position of president and essentially does nothing now except hand out money and wave their hands. So we don't really use that position for anything. That's the executive branch. So that power.
You guys have money?
Yeah, we have money. It's got funny colors and funny animals on it.
That's the Queen.
That's the Queen. What's that, Lee?
Did we give it to you?
Well, we sometimes use your money, but
I think our money's worth more right now.
No,
Our bank
American
is it now again?
But
but
I think historically, your money's always been worth slightly more than ours, but that's because it's so scarce.
It's a true story. We also don't spend it on super ballistic international
Prostitutes?
missiles. Yeah, prostitutes.
we got rid of the
Ballistic
penny.
prostitutes.
We got rid of the penny, by the way. So try and figure out how that works with your economy. I just still don't understand how how that works.
We like pennies.
Got
They're
nickels.
really fun to flick at people.
So we got nickels and dimes, but now all your change is rounded to the nearest 5 cent.
Mm.
Always rounded up too. Works for Walmart.
Works for Walmart. Round up.
No rollback. It's round up now.
Yeah. Round up. Anyways, so we've had you for a good amount of time. I want to thank you for coming on the show, in particular for what's that?
Do I get to plug shit?
Yeah, I was going to say in particular for coming on and talking about both your online work and specifically Godless Revival, because I've been that's really what I've been wanting to get you on here to talk about.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. It's actually been a lot of fun. We should have you guys on A-News sometime.
Awesome.
I would love that. That would be cool.
It'd be weird listening to your show that week because I would hear my own voice.
Like I said, I don't listen. I can't stand my own voice. I'm going to plug you guys, though.
Nice.
I'm going to plug this, definitely.
Awesome. Thanks, man. And so is there anything else you want to leave our audience with before the show wraps up?
Yes. There's so much. I want you to go to thegodlessrevival.com and check out the Godless Revival. Be a part of it. Like I said, email me, message me, call me on the phone, come over to my house and eat all my food, but start up your own Godless Revival. I got your back. Check out apartmentj.com. Check out anewsreports.com for all of our podcasts, articles, and just general horrible thoughts. Go to weareatheism.com and Atheist Giving Aid, specifically the Atheist Giving Aid Project. Be a part of the world's only atheist charity. It's wonderful. It's brilliant, and it's really helping people out. We need your support. And I just got a Twitter today, literally this morning. I think it was 6 in the morning. I created my very first Twitter account. So follow me on Twitter, and eventually I'm going to say interesting things, or at least try to. I am at Turbo Ultra Lee.
Turbo Ultra Lee. Yep.
Yes, because that was the only name I could find that was silly and not taken. And yeah, find me on Facebook, be my friend. I like friends, and I love chatting with people because I really have no life. So be my friend, and I'll love you for it.
Yeah, you do interact with people a lot. I like that about people that are active and communicate with people who want to chat with them.
Well, it's fun. You learn so much from all of you interesting, wonderful people who have better stories than I do. And then I get to use your stories and incorporate them into things that I create and take all the credit. So it's a win-win for me.
That's good. Good deal. Alrighty. So I want to thank you again for being on the show, Lee. And thank you for all the work that you do as well.
Oh, like I said, thank you guys thank you for doing these. I love the fact that there are so many atheists. There needs to be more. And you guys need to keep kicking ass, because this is obviously a good show.
Well, I'm glad you think so. If we can start getting our views up a little bit more, that would be awesome.
Well, I mean, you're never going to be as big as A-News, because our followers are in the billions.
Sweet.
They constitute an actual nation. The A-News Nation.
It is almost impossible to determine who the fuck is following, because no one leaves comments anymore.
Yeah.
Not even trolls.
Come on, interact with us. Yeah, talk shit about us. Tell me I'm dumb. Just say something to let me know that we're being heard.
I said the same thing at the beginning of a couple of our shows where I'm like, even if you disagree with us, tell us you don't like us, go ahead. Just tell us something.
I'm just waiting for the one where they send you the message saying, get rid of that bum who's your co-host. He's fucking useless.
It's more like they'll be like...
Yeah, but they usually mean me when they send that. Brian's the funny one. What's with the Lee guy? He's an idiot. That guy's dumb. And I'm like, guys, I'm drunk. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Just be glad I'm not driving.
I think Corey brought me on to be the controversial one. It's really hard. Most of our guests are funny.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you guys have the rare opportunity of having me on sober, so...
Yeah, well, thank you for that. It's not going to last too long, right? You're going to eventually get into some of the fine...
Well, I'm recording A-News tonight, so...
There you go.
So he robbed us of an opportunity for a really good interview drunk.
Well, you said you didn't drive in New York earlier, so I was going to say they should be happy that you're drunk doing your podcast rather than outside behind the wheel.
I literally got out of bed half an hour before we did this, so, the coffee still had to kick in.
It's the beauty of the internet. That's one of the beautiful things about it. Technically, you could be laying in bed right now and we wouldn't even know the difference.
Well, I am kind of relaxing on my couch, so it's close enough.
Sweet. Hey, well, I'm glad I got a chance to speak to you. Yeah, thanks for being on, man.
Well, like I said, thank you guys, and keep doing the show.
Oh, we will.
So thanks to Lee Moore for coming out. Thanks for Smashlock for being here. I want to encourage everyone to go out and check out Godless Revival, as well as catching Brian and Lee on A News. The links will be in the show notes, as well as the link to How About Repaid. We'll see you next time on Apostasy Now.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? Yo! I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.